Hello everybody, it is fall, so today we are going to be making pumpkin pie. This is our recipe. These are our ingredients. This is our mixer. So let's get started. First item on our ingredients list is going to be 2 cups all-purpose flour. Then we have half a teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon ground cloves, 1 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 3/4 cup unsalted butter, softened is best, 2 cups of sugar, 2 large eggs, 15 ounces of pumpkin puree. Step number 1, we're going to get all of our dry ingredients aside from our sugar and combine them in a bowl. And we'll then whisk until it's all together. Cinnamon going in, nutmeg going in, cloves going in, salt going in. Get your whisk, give it a stir. Once it's nice and combined, we can then move on to our butter and our sugar. Next step, we're going to get our paddle attachment and get it onto our mixer. With this, we're going to beat just until blended our softened butter with our sugar. Then we're going to add the eggs one at a time, and then our pumpkin spice. Let's get it. First step is going to be getting our butter. We can run it through the mixer for a little bit so that we can get it nice and broken down before adding our sugar. Once it started looking a little fluffy, once it's nice and combined, you can then scrape off all the edges and add the dry ingredients. A spatula, begin scraping everything off the side. You're going to see a lot of butter clumping up against the side of the wall. You want to get that off before continuing the mixing so that you can make sure it gets incorporated into your product. Once it's all off, go ahead and run our mixer one more time before adding our dry ingredients. No going back to it. Dry ingredients. Once we've cleaned our area and cleared it out, we can then start filling our baking dish. I'm going to use a half-size bread loaf as well as some mini cupcake tins because I want to get little fucking bites. But we're not going to be able to fill up the whole thing anyway, so I'm going to transition and make extra pieces. It's very important to make sure that your item is non-stick. You can use pan cooking spray. This is the high heat so that it makes sure not to stick or not burn our product. You can also use butter with flour inside your pan. You can use straight up flour using pan. Give it a little spray, not too heavy. Deep fry your item, just enough to get it there. And we can start filling. Let's first start with my bread loaf so that I can make sure I have a full amount before I start adding to my mini trays. Feel free to spread it around, give it little pokes. At this point you can add pumpkin seeds, you can add pecans, peanuts, a little bit of cinnamon on top. It's up to you all, get creative with it. But this is simple, classic base. I wanted to go OG. Y'all feel free to manipulate it any way you want. Right there we have our first tray ready to go. Then, for convenience reasons, we have a little equipment in our kitchen, so we're going to be using our ice cream scoops so we can get our individual portions. I love these little mini cupcake tins because it doesn't like one full flavorful bite. One big bite, all in one go, and you got it made. After all of our tins are filled, we can begin baking. Our bread loaf is going to go in at 325 degrees, as well as these. The only difference is that since our items are smaller here, the cooking time is going to be less. For our bread loaf, we are looking at about 1 hour in time, 65 to 75 minutes, 325. And with our mini ones, we're going to be in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. Make sure you keep an eye on them. The way we can check them to see if they're ready is you're going to get a toothpick, slide it directly into it. If we have a whole bunch of remains left on the stick, it means we got a little bit more time to go. So, let's go ahead and get these in the oven. See you on an hour. All right, after about 1 hour at 325 degrees in the oven, we can then pull out our product. Gorgeous. And let it cool. And there it is. Gorgeous little pumpkin bread. Fall recipes continued. What's up, everybody? Earlier today I showed y'all a pumpkin recipe, pumpkin bread, and now I'm going to show you a little bit of my recipes. I decided to go fall with this as well. It's a little bit of a twist. I created it myself just on my way home from work, and I wanted to use items that I had at home, except for this. I was thinking you can pick this up. But everything else was in house, and I'm going to show you what that is. Today's menu item is chicken. We're going to be altering this chicken in the form of a pinwheel, and it's going to be stuffed with stovetop stuffing and a Philadelphia cream cheese dip. Normally we'd be going from scratch all the way through, but like I said, I wanted to use items that we already had in house, and if you have them in your house as well, get it knocked out. If you don't, go ahead and pick them up. Simple ingredients that we're going to use that we do not have to go through all of the time and effort for, and do it from scratch. Now for the equipment. Basic few items. We're going to need cutting board, spatula, sheet tray with a cooling rack. This is going to be used to dredge our chicken in flour, so you can use whatever tray you'd like. Set of tongs, our bowl, sauce pot for our stove top, cling wrap, and then something to smash your chicken with. I'm using this monster. Well, let's get started. we're going to begin with our stovetop stuffing and cook it to packaging specifications. Right now we have 1/4 cup of butter, 1 cup of water boiling. Then we're going to add our stuffing mix. Turn off the heat and give it a stir. All I gotta do once it's incorporated is get a lid on it and let it sit. The moisture will get absorbed, the steam will continue cooking it off, and then it'll be ready to use. Simple stove top. Lid on it, and out of the way. Next step we're going to jump into is preparing our chicken. Our key is our cut. We're going to have to make sure to butterfly our chicken in the right sizes so that we can fillet and flatten it out so that we can get our roll in. Start off on the side. You can see where the breast defines itself. That outward motion, we're going to start on that side so the flat side can open up and have more room for stuffing. A larger surface area is going to help us get a better roll. So we'll go this way. After we have it here, we're going to then flatten it out before we get stuffed. Again. This right here, you want to use that as your starting point. It's called butterfly. Spread it out, open them up like the wings, so you can have a nice, large surface area before you get it nice and flat. There we go. Stay tuned for the next step. And in a split second, we are back. Here we go with the next step. We're going to need plastic wrap. I have one here on the base. You're gonna need to put one on your countertop and then one loose because it's gonna go on top. Chicken breast goes down. Plastic wrap above it. Then get your pound it. I'm going to use this butcher knife. You can use a pan, you can use your fist, you can use a rolling pin, you can use a mallet. That's what it's for. But I'm using this. All we're gonna do is be flattening it out. The key to this is the motion. If we go straight down, we're gonna break our chicken and it's gonna have holes in it before we try to roll. So as you're hitting it, you're gonna wanna go down and pull it. Down and pull it. Down and pull it. It's a slight motion, but it makes all the difference in the product. The reason for this is to ensure even cooking. If our entire product is the same size and thickness, even cooking all the way through. Do it again. Excellent. We'll do it the other way. Just that way. Same technique, same method. Pressure, down, pull. In the kitchen, there are a lot of dangerous equipment, a lot of different utensils. Make sure that you know how to handle them. Make sure that you're safe. All of your items, all of your equipment. And always take it slow. Be cautious, be safe, make the right cut. Today I cut myself in the classroom, in the kitchen, and it happens. Sometimes we make mistakes, but if we put our effort to make sure we're doing what we're doing, and we're doing it well, we can avoid those mistakes. I'm gonna take you to the next step now. I'm going to be pounding down these next two, and then preparing for the next one. Here we go. Now for the fun part, preparing our chicken. We're gonna prepare our pin rolls by first seasoning it with salt and pepper. Grab our butterflied and flattened chicken breast. Set it down on the plastic wrap that we used before and begin to season. Both sides. It's gonna be about a pinch per side. I like to get 2 pinches with the pepper. We're gonna have a little extra sodium from our spread that we're gonna be using, Philadelphia dip. You can make this from scratch. You can use any dip that you choose to use. Like I said, scratch is always better, but I wanted to use items from home. And then you're gonna go to this side. And season. And we will do that with all of our items before. Stack them on top of each other. You're going to be rolling them anyway. Make it rain. Not much coming out, so I think make it rain. So the hose is kind of like nice and light. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull these 3 to the side and begin our filling. We're going to get about a tablespoon of our spread, tablespoon and a half. And we want to go on the side that has the seams outward, the regular way that the chicken breast would have been if we had not cut it. Just throw it out, use the inside. And we're going to spread. Go 2 tablespoons, 2 and a half. Just like that, we have our dip, and then we'll get our stuffing. We're gonna want to flatten it out as thin as possible so that we can get a good roll. So add a decent amount, it's gonna be a good filling. And then you want to stay away from the edges. So you can use the same spatula and begin to press down. Spread it out across the breast. Stay away from the edges so that we can get a nice roll in. Give you that pinwheel effect. And then the larger surface area for the chicken breast, the better for the roll. So when you're pounding it out, get as thin as you can. Let's give this a try. We're gonna go from here and begin a roll. Fully intact. Now watch me speed it up. I'll be back with the rest. Once our chicken breasts are rolled up nice and tight, we can then use our soaked toothpicks and prepare these 5 minutes in advance and seal the ends so that we can completely solidify our roll. Just like this. Need about 3 to 4 of them to ensure that it's gone all the way across. Once that's been completed, we can then get our flour drench and begin preparing our pan. What we're going to need to do to prepare our pan is get some extra virgin olive oil, a hot pan, not a hot pan, it will be hot. So, oil down. You're going to want to use about a quarter cup, so we're not have to worry about any low amounts of oil. We'll get a good even cooking all the way across by rotating our chicken breasts this way, and we can begin getting our flour. Just a light roll, light dip. I'm gonna go in, twist. We're just gonna be doing this for color so that when it goes into the oven, it'll look nice and crisp on the way out. If an item went into the oven by itself, it'd come out somewhat pale. So we're gonna give it some color on our pan. Roll it over. Nice light coating. Back off. Nice. Once that's complete, you can start frying. And now for the pan fry. We're going to start off by getting our chicken piece into the hot pan with our hot oil. And we'll rotate every so often. Just looking for a little bit of color before we transfer to our sheet side. Once we've reached our desired doneness, we can then pull it off the tray and spray it on our sheet tray steak. Products are fully browned, so we can prepare to get into the oven. Another key reason that we do this process is so that we can ensure that our chicken reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees. That is vital. We will be baking our chicken at 350 degrees for 25 minutes to ensure that it does reach that internal temperature of 165. See you soon. While we wait, let's make a side. Today we're going to prep some asparagus. This is already been washed, trimmed, and ready to cook. I didn't know that when I bought it, but hey, we're good to go. I was going to chop them up in front of you guys, but it seems that I don't have to. all we're gonna do is get our asparagus and throw it into a hot oil. We can use the same oil that we seared our chicken in, and nice and hot. Let them cook here for about 3 minutes. I want to keep them crispy, and then we'll just season with lemon pepper. And we will be in the oven for 40 minutes. Whoa. To reach that internal temperature of 165 degrees. It's always best to have a thermometer nearby so that you can be sure to check your product. It must remain there for 15 seconds. Looks like we're good. And then we chop. Last step before prepping to set up our plate is removing our toothpicks and slicing. As you can see, it kept it intact. Get rid of our toothpicks, and we're able to have a whole product in its full shape and form. Just discard them by throwing them to the side. Here we go. I'm going to go somewhat thick slices to make sure it holds. There you go. Chop them all up and then we'll plate. Chicken pinwheels with items that I had at my house, which was stuffing and a Philadelphia dip. Feel free to fill it with anything you'd like. And that's it. I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you learned a little bit of something too. Feel free to send me messages on the social medias at Chef Reckless DJ on Twitter and Instagram. Feel free to hit me up, and I'll see you guys next time.